This deck box is spacious, stylish, and affordable, but there is one thing about it that bugs me. Well, maybe two. Welcome to Absolute Cardboard, where we focus on budget decks, cool accessories, and building a collection you can be proud of. And today we take a look at this big boy from TiMovo, which, as far as I can tell, is another shell company buying Chinese products and reselling them on Amazon. And no, I actually don't mean T-Mobile. This thing will not get you the cheapest 5G coverage and a free phone with trade-in. But the bottom line is this deck box worth it for you? Let's take a look. This is yet another deck box without a name. Instead, they chose to opt for keyword jumble to get as many people interested in trading card games as they possibly could to accidentally see their product. Hey, in this economy, you need to tap into that lucrative TCG space that is, Monopoly. Now, weird marketing aside, this is a deck box made essentially from cardboard, polyurethane leather, stitching, and glue. When it breaks down like that, it sounds kinda bad, but keep in mind that this is largely the same formula used in some of the staple Ultimate Guard or Gamegenic deck boxes. And it's important to keep in mind for later, but for now, know that the overall construction is essentially on par with the larger brands in the space. The texture is just as good, the coloring is just as good, and while more generic, the labeling on the side is just as good as the big boys. Looking at the side, you will notice that this deck box has two card windows, one on each side, and they use the mini snap card holders. However, the magnetic ones are too big and top loaders are right out. You get two of those holders with the box, but those seem a tad larger than other mini snaps, so while other mini snaps will fit in this box, these holders may not fit in any particular form-fitting deck box windows that you got. So if you plan on moving your decks around a lot, just keep that in mind, but if you have a set of Commander decks for this specifically, or plan on just keeping them in this box, you should be fine. Now, it shuts via a wrapping mechanism, and by wrapping I mean how it kind of envelops the deck box, not the classic woo-ha got you all in check by Busta Rhymes type of wrapping. When you pop this panel, the deck box unfurls and the cover lays adjacent to the box. It's not separate, but a continuation of the front side panel, hence the wrapping mechanism. You can prop the box on its side like so, and that gives sort of a way to kind of rest it where the cover doesn't take up too much space on the table or play area, but it covers up the tray on the bottom, and sitting the box so the tray is accessible seems a bit awkward. It can be done, but it doesn't look or feel right. Having the box on its side does sit well, and it could be a fine position to have the box in while you get your deck and tokens and whatnot out of the main compartments. And before we get to the main compartments, let's look at this bottom tray real quick. It is sizable. You can fit a lot in there, be they tokens or dice or counters or whatever. And while not the most scientific metric, you can almost fit an entire iPhone 15 Pro Max Ultimate Giga Omega Colossal Air. If you have a smaller phone, you could keep it in there. I don't know why you would, but you could. Just like I don't know why you would join the Patreon to support the fastest growing MTG creator by volume that you could. Just like you could also become a member here on YouTube. There's no reason to, but you can do it. The box has two main compartments, which kind of contradicts the use of the word main, but it's my channel, I do what I want, suck it. It comes with 6 plastic dividers, which are fine. I don't really use these a ton, but hey, extra stuff is extra stuff. The sides of these have cutouts, which makes it easy to grab a big stack of cards out of the side. Though I am a bit wary of just having the center wall held in place with glue, and yeah, there it is instantly out. Alright, so obviously this one maybe didn't get enough glue, or it had some weird extreme heat or something in shipping, I don't know. But this brings me to a larger issue with these faux leather and glue deck boxes. Let me grab something real quick. This is the Ultimate Guard flip-in tray, and it was the first deck box I ever got for my Afara Commander deck when I was getting back into Magic around, let's say, 2018. And this is the Ultra Pro Alcove Flip. It's the Azorius edition, which was awesome because it had the guild logo sewn right into the front, and the Azorius logo kind of lining the top flat. This was my second deck box from roughly that time frame. These are both the same style of pseudo leather on cardboard, and I want to show you a few things. On the flip-in tray specifically, one of the bottom seals has had its glue wear off and is now just loose. On the bigger tray, some of the thread has begun fraying from sliding the tray in and out over time. The top tray has some glue leaking out from the bottom seal, and the side here, the alcove by itself has some accumulated grime and overall dirtiness, and the glue has over time leaked out, which is very noticeable, especially here on the top end, here along the grip cutout, and even along this back panel. Are either of these deck boxes ruined? No. Are they unusable? No. But it is something that I think is important to point out, and why I've harped on the fact that this box is essentially just cardboard, fake leather, and glue. These will wear over time, and in ways that you don't necessarily have control over. Or in case of this deck box, it will fail almost immediately. And I don't think that every instance of this box will have this flaw, but you just can't tell when one of the things is underglued or overglued and it just falls apart or suddenly becomes loose. And yes, if I wanted to, I'm sure I could reach out to Amazon, return this and get another one, but that A, reduces the value proposition of the box since I'm now having to invest more time into obtaining a fully functioning one, and B, is just another dice roll. Who's to say that since this one came immediately broken, the next one won't, or it won't potentially even have worse flaws? I'm not saying these glued deck boxes altogether are bad, or that you shouldn't get this one or any other one, but in the search for value, I happen to have examples of what can happen to these kinds of deck boxes over time, and it's something that I think should be factored in when deciding to buy something like this or not. Now that I've depressed everyone by pointing out that the arrow of time only goes forward, let's talk about how many cards you can fit in this bad boy. Each of the main compartments hold about 140 single-sleeved cards, for a total of about 280 single-sleeved cards. And each compartment holds about 100 double-sleeved cards and 10 or so unsleeved tokens, or what have you. So 200 double-sleeved cards and about 20 tokens, but if you happen to have two double-sleeved EDH decks, and both of those decks require a ton of tokens, you can actually fit about 50 unsleeved cards or tokens in the lower tray. And with those tokens in the lower tray, I can get about 12 average size D12s. And if you're a freak like me, this is a tray that will actually accommodate the bundle-sized D20s. But how is this going to fit in your actual real-world storage scenarios? Well, it weighs about 497 grams, it's 99 millimeters deep, it's 142 millimeters tall, and 170 millimeters wide. Though if you kind of chop it in half, that's like 250 grams for each individual deck box, theoretically, and only about 85 millimeters wide, which is actually not that super big. It's only about 10 millimeters wider than a Boulder-type deck box, and I feel like most of that is actually just taken up by the slot for the mini snap case. However, it is way taller than a boulder, which means that yes, you can think of it like two boulders stapled together, though in practice that will really only work if you're putting this into a pretty open and loose bag, say the inside pocket of a trench coat. But for home use and shelf decor, it's totally serviceable. It's able to be gripped by one hand, and even when full, isn't that heavy. And because it has the wraparound style cover with the magnets on the side, jostling this will probably not cause this to open. Since the cards only exit through the top, the force will also only press through the top, not really affecting the friction from the magnets on the side. The magnets themselves are very secure for just kind of general opening and closing, and there are magnets on the backside if you want to keep your hidden tray from nasty little tray gnomes who want to steal all of your tray and all of your tray goodies. The tray fits snug but isn't too tight, it's totally manageable to get in and out very easy. And the side window features the mini snap holders instead of top loaders, which means there is more protection for your fancy commanders if you so choose to put them there. And one issue I did notice with these windows is that the backside trim is like bowed. I thought it might just be an oddity, but it does occur on both sides in the same position, meaning there is either something wrong, again, with this box, or it's something to do with how the box is designed. Given how I talk about these type of boxes failing over time, I'm a little concerned. Not super concerned, but you never know. As much as I generally like this box, it's not really fidgety, which is something that I do value. If you have it open, you can always slide in and out the snap cases. However, in general, due to its hefty size and really secure cover, this makes it very hard to fidget with, unless you consider staring at something for hours without doing anything else fidgeting. So, who is this box for? I actually really like it as kind of a grab-and-go kit. You will have to figure out how to bring a playmat if that's your thing, but otherwise, you can fit two whole commander decks in here with tokens, dice, and you can see which decks they are from the side panels, and you could probably actually fit some pins and a small notepad in the tray. This is something you can just palm or carry around like a football for an entire evening. Just make sure all the parts that are supposed to be glued together are actually glued together. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, well, why not give the video a like and subscribe to the channel? You can also become a member here or on Patreon for exclusive and early videos, or just to support the channel. Or you could also watch another video like this showcase of a deck box that has some of the most value in $1 per feature sense that I've ever seen. And until next time, I'll see you around.